All right, we're finding some holiday fun today in Camas, where a guy has a Christmas display that's been in the making for 20 years.
Yeah, this is really something. Let's get right to it and take a look. It is a mini Christmas Carnival, and he's using collectibles sold by Limax, but much of what you see here was created with Dan's own hands. The expansive base and surrounding mountains were made with styrofoam. Fencing is formed with wiring normally used as a gutter guard. Each light was put in place with a cut plastic straw, and every year since 1998, he's been adding new whimsical features. There are too many pieces, he says, to count.
I haven't even started counting. Last time I counted, I had over 500 people. Rides, I think I got probably about 18 rides in here. Exhibits, like the dinosaur exhibit that I handmade, the Christmas maze that I handmade, and of course the movie theater, you know, the sit-down theater there. The motivation probably when I was a child, having you know, a racetrack, train track. I just wanted to kind of up it more and do something more spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular,
Well
really
done,
says
right?
it. The display stretches more than 20 feet, takes 2 days to put together. It goes up the day after Halloween and occupies a large part of the family's bonus room until January the 2nd, when he takes it all back down. And he has the original boxes, he told me, for all the pieces.
Right? Yeah. That's really cool.